So I'm here with Adrian Zackheim. Today we're talking about performing under pressure. And I just wanted
I guess the pressure's getting to us.
I know, we're panicking. I just wanted to start off maybe by talking about a few books that you would recommend for a business audience, for anyone who's dealing with an extreme amount of pressure.
Well, I'm glad you asked me that question, Courtney. You know, there are many books about performance under pressure that come at the subject from a number of different angles. I mean, if you just want to read about a group of people in a pressure situation and how they coped with it in a good and a bad way, the first book I would recommend is a riveting narrative by the extraordinary John Krakauer. The book he wrote about the ascent of Mount Everest, the title was Into Thin Air. It might not be the most encouraging view of crisis management you've ever encountered, but it will certainly be the most compelling.
What drew you to that book as sort of a book for someone who wants to learn about succeeding under pressure?
Because that book had the advantage of showing a crisis that befell a group of people and dissecting the reaction of different members of the group and seeing some did well, some did badly, you know, the qualities that brought some people through with flying colors and others literally fell off the mountain. And, you know, there are all kinds of good and bad takeaways from the book that I think everybody could benefit from.
What if we want to read something more in a specifically business context?
Well, you know, not to toot our own horn too much, but there was a very fine book that we published a couple of years ago by a crisis management expert named Eric Desenhall. The book was called Damage Control, and it was specifically about how to weather a media crisis from the point of view of a companies large and small. And Desenhall is a consultant to whom, well, he can't identify any of his clients, but they are among the most celebrated individuals and companies on the planet. And when you really are in the muck in the media, the guy to call is Eric Desenhall. So that's why I recommend that book. And then the last one, which I just want to mention in passing, as we've talked about it a lot in the past, is Only the Paranoid Survive, how a single big company got out of a single big PR disaster.
So it seems like the financial crisis has become a sort of petri dish for observing people dealing with extreme pressure and how they perform in a state of crisis. And later in the show, we're going to be talking with Maria Bartiromo, who's recently written a book on the financial crisis. I'm wondering what drew you to publish her new book?
Well, that's an easy question. First of all, there is no one in the financial media who competes with Maria Bartiromo. She's in a class by herself. And nobody has more intimate access to the goings-on behind the scenes when a financial crisis hits, because everybody wants to be represented on Maria's radar screen. And so the reason that we signed this book up was that Maria promised and delivered on the promise to reveal the private, behind-the-scenes conversations that she overheard and pieced together in the course of covering this event. There was nobody else. I mean, there were great reporters who went in after the fact and covered these events and got great first-hand information. But there was nobody who had better information hour by hour over the course of that weekend than Maria Bartiromo.